consultant with Festive Road, the consultancy on a mission to create better travel and meetings management. Today, I'm in conversation with Ciaran Delaney from Hubli. Welcome, Ciaran. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Katie.
Did you have a good journey over?
Yeah, absolutely. Got a red-eye flight for the first time in probably a year and a half. So, yeah.
And brand new brand to have here at the show.
Yes, yeah. We launched Hubli 2 weeks ago. So it's a new brand for our business that we feel really helps to position what we're doing now in our space.
So today we're here talking about 2022 and beyond and different aspects of travel management that travel buyers should consider. So with that in mind, which aspect of travel management do you think is most important for travel buyers to consider?
Yeah, so I think there's an area of travel management that is the last area that is still manually booked and predominantly unmanaged. And that's the segment of small group accommodation reservations and also simple meetings. So when we look at the landscape of technology and online booking tools in business travel, there's a whole range of solutions for the kind of transient and flight reservations and ground transportation. And then there's solutions for big, large events. So if you're a travel manager, there's an online booking solution to book 8 bedrooms in a hotel, and there's solutions for big events. But the market in between that, from 10 people to 100 people, that area is still predominantly unmanaged and still manually booked and therefore very slow and inefficient. So that's really what Hubli solves. We're an online booking tool for group accommodation and simple meetings for large organizations around the world.
And do you see other trends happening that are really forcing more of this need for smaller meetings tools and the areas you were talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. Like probably 3 years ago when you met a travel manager, really the pain point was, we don't know how much we're spending in this segment, right? Fast forward to today, that's way down the list, right? It's more about, we can't, from the safety and duty of care perspective, we need a solution. Like the days of letting employees, book a meeting for 20 people, direct, unmanaged, are gone, right? From a safety perspective, you need to know where they are. Is it a safe venue? Is it approved? So I think that's really become the major driver. The other massive change is how we work, right? And that's really starting to influence business travel. So we're seeing that there's a whole new distributed workforce. I think actually in one of your interviews at Festive Road, you were chatting to Microsoft and they've hired 25,000 people since the pandemic, right? So now employees are shouting out really to connect in person and to build relationships with their colleagues. So there's a whole new area within business travel that's involving employees meeting for offsites when they're based in different locations. How do you do that efficiently? Is there self-serve technology for that? Then there's also smaller regional meetings that have a hybrid component. And then obviously there's loads of other scenarios. There's a lot of our clients are actually, it's the real estate team working with the business travel team, to actually supplement flexible workspaces in a city where they've closed an office. So all those things we just mentioned didn't exist 2 years ago, right? So yeah, there's a whole new range of, problems that we're helping to solve for travel managers. And it is an area they're trying to learn about and understand and figure out.
I was just going to ask, do you see some travel managers then saying, oh, this is a great opportunity for me to expand my role, work with other stakeholders, a new area to tackle for them?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting for us to see the relationship within organizations, because now for all our clients, we're presenting to business travel, and then they bring in their real estate colleagues, and we have a joint call with 2 different divisions of the organization, or vice versa. So yeah, it's interesting how they're really collaborating in the area, and in some cases, they're figuring out like who's really responsible for this space, right? And that's ever evolving. You know, we had a conversation with a new client recently, and they said, listen, we figured it out now that, you know, if it's an external space that needs a lease, that's going to be real estate, right? But if it's external space that is just being booked, that's going to sit under business travel, you know, which kind of makes sense, right? Because I think that's probably where, you know, meetings are kind of familiar segment for business travel. But they're figuring it out. This is a major global company. So it's interesting to see it evolve. And we like to consult and give our, you know, experience to it, help them with data, help them understand like how to price, what are the costs. So in some cases, we're giving like pricing information for 80 cities around the world for workspaces, group stays, and meetings. Because, you know, you need to figure it out and kind of understand, you know, how does it work? And it's a challenge. So we love helping that process with clients.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you talking to an organization and they were going to the point of, let's think about all movement within our company. Yeah. You know, go through those processes and then figure out who should own it and manage it. And so sounds similar to your example. Yeah. So if you are a travel manager or buyer, someone who is dealing with this within your organization, and I'm sure there's a wide spectrum of people who have dived in or those who are still at the beginning, what advice would you give to them?
I think that number one is that, you know, focus on what you're good at, and travel managers are very strategic. You know, they understand their business needs and they understand the policies that they need to bring into a solution, right? So, and then challenge us to deliver on that, right? And we love that, you know, and I think there's lots of different areas of focus for different organizations. You know, when we started working with BP, for example, they said to us, you know, safety is really vital. And we have a list of a survey that we want venues to complete in order to satisfy our safety requirements. So we said, great, right? Why don't we build that into your instance of Hubli? And now the 6,500 hotels have complied with their health and safety standards. So whatever is driving the organization, whatever is critical for them to make the solution a success, that's what we want to help them solve. Other organizations, payment is a big factor, right? We have a new client who kind of said, you know what, we don't want to deal with, you know, 500 venues a month as suppliers, right? We want the solution to pay the venues, and we want a statement at the end of the month for all the bookings. And then, so we built that into the platform via kind of a lodge card solution. And there's nearly 1,000 reservations a month from that company, even in COVID, for group stays, etc. And they get one statement, 60 days to pay for the meeting. And now, obviously, I think travel managers and the industry in general are looking at sustainability. And we're launching a new sustainability module later this year, which is really going to help to, you know, empower organizations to book meeting spaces based on the sustainability policies of those locations, and not just price, right? Because price is always important, you know, let's be honest. But sustainability is now becoming equally important, and also helping organizations to decide where to meet based on the lowest carbon usage. Right. So you know, it's really for travel managers. I think they just need to embrace it. Also start small, you know, and also bring their strategy that the logic they applied to the transient sector, bring it across to this space.
Yes. Right? Yep.
And makes
sense. Well, great advice. Thank you for sharing everything and being here with us today.
Thanks, man.